in more detail, starting with scalability. So scalability is kind of a loaded term, and it has a heck of a lot of meanings. But from a cryptocurrency's perspective, you can really think of scalability in 3 different perspectives. So one is scalability in terms of transactions per second. So you'll often hear people say, well, Bitcoin has 7 transactions per second, or Ethereum has 10 or 20 transactions per second, and this new protocol has 200 transactions or 300 transactions per second. There's this notion of how many transactions am I able to get into a block within some finite period of time. But it's not the only thing that you have to concern yourself with. Transactions carry data. And as you get more transactions, you require more network resources. So there's also this notion of bandwidth or network, where for a system to scale, if it's going to go to millions and billions of users, that system could require hundreds of megabytes to gigabytes per second of bandwidth to be able to support all the data flowing through it. This is very common in the enterprise world, but not quite where we need to be in the peer-to-peer world. And then finally, there's this notion of data scale. So blockchains store things, hopefully, forever. And so every time you put a transaction in, regardless if it's relevant or not, it ends up in the log. And as you have more and more transactions per second, you need more and more data. And as a consequence, blockchains will grow from megabytes to gigabytes to terabytes to petabytes and potentially even exabytes. Again, this is okay in the network world, but when we talk about a replicated system whose security model relies upon each node having a copy of the blockchain, this is not tractable for consumer hardware devices. So Cardano, what we're trying to do is figure out ways to solve these problems in a very elegant way. Namely that as we add people to the network, we naturally get more transactions per second, we get more network resources, and eventually we'll get more available overall data storage.